Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cop Council, and welcome to a very special episode for you guys tonight. And that is, of course, a Liverpool potential signings episode for you guys. We are going to be taking a look at a very special player that is getting talked about quite a lot as a potential transfer for Liverpool in January, not just the summer, anyway. And of course, that is Fabio Cannavaro from Fulham. He is English international. I've always thought he was Portuguese international, but no, he is now an English international footballer. And we're gonna have a little bit of a look. It is the first live episode of this series. If you want to talk about it, we have spoken. I think before we spoke about Timo Werner. That was the first ever one. Going back, I think like two windows ago now. We spoke about Ozim Aouar. We've spoken about Kylian Mbappe, and now we're speaking about Fabio Cannavaro as well. But if you could, please feel free to leave a like on the episode. It'd be very much appreciated as always. Lets me know that you guys do like these episodes as well. If you could hit that subscribe button as well, that would also be absolutely fantastic. And don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, because YouTube, they don't like notifications for some reason. So just please press the little bell button to remind yourself when we go live. Jackson saying don't be late, set your alarm. I got my alarm. I got my alarm, to be fair, but no, thank you for popping in, my friend. Anyway, but yes, that is who we are going to be talking about today. Is Fabio Cannavaro. Look, of course, whispers and rumours have been circulating the last couple of days on social media, and it's going to be a very, very interesting time. I think Liverpool are most likely going to get him. I think looking at all that has been said, he does have 6 months left on his deal at time of recording, which is very, very interesting. Of course, it's very similar to Harvey Elliott, this transfer at the moment anyway, because if you look at it, Harvey Elliott was in the exact same boat. Liverpool signed him, ended up having to pay, what was it, around £8-10 million of a tribunal fee for Fulham anyway. And that's why I say it's a lot more sense to signing now and then go and loan him out than for 6 months to Fulham, finish out the season, then probably going to win the championship as things stand, and of course would then get his championship medal, come back to Liverpool in the summer then, and have a full pre-season then with the Reds, fingers crossed, of course. Anyway, but let's have a quick look then. But before we do that, let's say hello to John. John says, "Hey mate, hope you're well. I'm doing fantastic, mate." He also says, "I'd sign him. I'd sign him now, loan him back end of the season. He's going to be a hell of a player." I absolutely agree. Look, he has a higher ceiling than Harvey Elliott, and we all know how good Harvey Elliott is and has been for Liverpool so far, and for Blackburn last year. Looking at it's kind of washed him to look at Cannavaro and go, wow, an amazing player from a couple of highlights. But I've watched him once or twice this season. I thought he's been absolutely brilliant. When I have watched him, I watched the game against Birmingham, which we'll take a look at in due course. But he does look like a really, really good young talent, and such a young age as well is absolutely brilliant. Anyway, but let's take a look then, of course, where all the news came from. Good friends at the Anfield Talk then quoting, Paul Gross saying, that Liverpool are monitoring Fabio Cannavaro ahead of his contract expiring in the summer. The Reds recruitment team believe Carvalho's level of experience at 19 years of age and his ability to play in a number of attacking roles make him an interesting prospect. Now, apparently, and according to reports as well, Liverpool have sent two scouts out this season to watch him. Apparently, the second time when they went to go and send the scouts out, they were very much impressed with his ability in the midfield. Fulham at the minute, they play a 4-2-3-1 at the moment, and he does play in that central cam position. We'll have a look on whoscored.com, but you look at it and pretty much all of his games are at that attacking mid situation. And look, if Liverpool want to go and change formation, 4-2-3-1, I think for a long time Liverpool, everyone around the club has been asking Klopp, go and do a 4-2-3-1, maybe change it from the 4-3-3. And look, Klopp has stuck to a 4-3-3. I think what's interesting as well, Cannavaro can play on the left, he can play on the right, and also midfield as well. So time will tell with that. Remember, we did buy Gini Wijnaldum as a left winger, and he was one of the best centre mids that we've seen in a very, very long time. And for me, it is going to be very, very interesting to see what does happen. Anyway, but Gary's in saying Liverpool need a striker, Connor. I would agree. I would agree. But sadly, there isn't any striker news I can give to you. I would love to be able to just go, yep, we're in for this, and this. Striker. I'd love to talk about Kylian Mbappe and Liverpool potentially going after him and all of that. But of course, it's fictional, isn't it? I'd love us to talk about it and realistically, just have a gander at a striker. But looking at him anyway, I know that James Pearce did also put out a thing earlier today, speaking about Cannavaro as well, saying Liverpool keeping a close eye on the development with Fulham's young attacking midfielder Fabio Cannavaro out of contract this summer and ticks all the boxes for LSE in terms of age, profile, being homegrown. Joint piece, of course, then with the Athletic, and the Athletic also put out a little thing as well about it anyway. Jack said, Connor not reading my comments. Wow. I read your comment at the start, my friend. Go back and watch the start of the episode, you absolute annoying git. Anyway, I hate you so much. But no, look, at the end of the day, his profile does look good. If we actually take a quick look at his Wikipedia page, I thought he was Fulham. I thought, he had come to England at a pretty young age and just completely done it like that. But if you look at his Wikipedia page right here, as you can see on the side, started at Benfica in 2010. So it would have been, right at the, young age there. Went to Barham and then went to Fulham since 2014 to 2020. And then, of course, then the senior team, so far he's got 20 appearances and 8 goals at the minute, majority of them this season, of course. But, born in 2002, doesn't that make you feel old? Then, of course, Cannavaro was born in 2002, as you can see, going further down, he's got this season stats and so on. Didn't only played 4 Premier League games, so he has Premier League experience as that stands. But of course, look, it doesn't really count, does it, guys? It was when Fulham were down and out probably and looking for a couple of players to bring through anyway. But what else do we have? One understands, Connor, John needs to get the bloody cash. Yeah, he does. John does need to get the bloody cash out. Of course, we will speak about that more in the summer, my friends. More in the summer. Fake news, says Vicento. I hate you so much. Hi, Jackie Boy, says Gary. Cheeky little signing if we can get him. And yeah, that this is the thing. And for me, I think that, going with what I did say about Liverpool should sign him now instead of waiting 6 months from now. We've seen with Harvey Elliott, normally you'd get him on a free, but we did, tap up, you could say Harvey Elliott and going, look, we want to sign you. This is what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. And the big question is, if Liverpool did sign him now, of course, it would be pretty much a automatic thing that he would go back to Fulham. Whether or not something would happen, because by the looks of things, if Fulham are going to lose him, which it does look like he doesn't want to sign a new deal, it then begs the question of how much Fulham are after him. The rumours and whispers at the moment, it is around £5 million. Checking on Transfer Market before I went live, it did say 500k he was worth, but of course, take that with a huge pinch of salt, because of course that's what probably his value is worth, but to Fulham he is worth £5 million anyway. And look, like I said, if Liverpool did leave it and got him in the summer, we would then have to pay Fulham around like what we did for Harvey Elliott. It would be around that £8-10 million mark, which of course FSG, if it's easier now, they would much rather do it. Look at Divock Origi, for example. We bought Divock Origi for £10 million. If we had waited the extra year, it would have been £20 million. So we signed Divock Origi, let him go out on loan, and save 10 million quid in that as well. So for me, I think it's the logical sense to get him done now, if that is the case. And of course, I know many of you guys will be asking, would it be, the likes of, Nat Phillips, would he have to leave, for Carvalho to come in? Would Reece Williams have to leave, and so on? For me personally, and looking at it, no, because he is homegrown talent. And look, I think it is likely that Nat Phillips will leave this window. Whether or not that would be on loan with an obligation to buy, or whether or not he does go out on loan for the remainder of the season and then leaves permanently in the summer to a different team, that's a whole other question. But as looking at it, briefly today and looking at it, it doesn't look like Liverpool would have to wait for that to happen. Look like Liverpool could sign him because they can get him under the homegrown talent thing anyway. Pay 5-7 million for him now. How many times have we missed out on players like this? Jude, get him now and loan him back. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely agree with that, John. And to be fair, looking at him, he does look like a real talent, plain and simple. And I could say with that anyway. I'm drinking Arteta's tears, says Gary. Of course, Liverpool beating them, the so-called mighty Arsenal, and reaching the Carabao Cup final, which of course we did speak about last night on our post-match reaction. So if you guys want to go and check that out, then please go and do that. Anyway, but quickly checking his his record on footmob.com. Footmob, again, if you want to sponsor us, please do. It would be very much appreciated. Of course, 19 years of age. Yeah, you see their market value, £250,000. But of course, would mean a lot more for that. But this was the game I was talking about that I did watch or rewatch. 90 minutes, 2 goals, 1 assist, getting a 9.4 out of 10. His best performance of the season so far for Fulham in the Championship so far. Of course, Fulham are doing fantastic in the Championship. Marco Silva's actually done a really good job there, in my opinion. But you look at it, 16 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. His average is up there as well. Of course, getting a bit of yellows there and non-goals there. But when he is, the majority of the games this season, as you can see, 8.6 against Millwall, and that played for England under 18s as well, which is huge. We've seen the likes of Dominic Solanke before, Ryan Brewster as well when they were coming to Liverpool, being in the setup anyway. Fulham's under 23s, Fulham Academy, and so on. But being there and around the system as well, which is fantastic. If he's already on the England stage and on the English mark, then that shows great promise in that anyway. But guys, let me keep your comments coming in, keep your thoughts coming in, because for me, it does say that he has played majority of the football at the cam position, which is true. It is absolutely true. We take a quick look at who scored.com. They're fantastic with the stats. To be fair, they're one of very few apps, I would say. Anyway, that doesn't quite correct anyway. Sorry if you do say any advertisement anyway. Please bet responsibly if you do say any betting apps. Look, you see Championship, 13 appearances so far, 7 goals, 2 assists, which is absolutely unbelievable. Pass success percentage as well, 81.2, which is brilliant. Half of his aerial duels have been won as well, which is brilliant. And of course, getting 1 man of the match, I'm guessing that was against Birmingham a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, if we scroll down anyway, what they're saying is his strengths. Finishing very strong, key passes strong, dribbling strong. Fabio Carvalho's style of play, counter-attack threat, likes to dribble, likes to do layoffs, and look how fluid Liverpool play at times as well. The aerial duels as a weakness, look, Liverpool are not going to be, we have our, the aerial presence, then like the Virgil, Fabinho, Kanate, all of those as well. But you see there, look how well Liverpool like to link up, and so on. And when you look at it, like John said, £5-7 million moves. It's classic Liverpool. We look at transfers like this, Harvey Elliott, for example, Andy Robertson. Just those examples of bargains, then you could say. And Carvalho, he could be a really good bargain for Liverpool. And I think, look, the thing is the rebuild for Liverpool, it has to happen now. Look, we've been lucky and blessed over the last few years of having a midfield, having an attack that's all grown up at the same age, but grown up, so young in terms of football. You look at the front three. We've had Bobby, Mo and Sadio, all the same age, coming in, was it 5, 6, 7 years ago now? And that is what I think Liverpool have to rebuild and do. We've already got the likes of Tyler Morton there as a midfielder, for example. Harvey Elliott. Imagine if we sign Fabio Cannavaro as well. He's another one, growing up as well. And you look at the young Liverpool side as well, the Owen Becks, the Connor Bradleys. There's so many, young talent coming through. And I think that's another great stepping stone, because I think the question is as well, if, I think the loan back would happen straight away. It's then the question of what then would happen next season. And I think it would be a similar thing to Harvey Elliott. I think it would be, look, he would go out back out on loan, maybe a low end Premier League team, maybe a top end, Championship team. Who knows? It wouldn't necessarily be Blackburn. Blackburn are doing very well. I think they're third in the Championship at the moment. And you look at it and you go, it wouldn't be that for me, because you look at it, Leighton Clarkson. I think pretty much all of us thought that he would be that one that would, do the same as Harvey Elliott, progress perfectly, come back to Liverpool better off and not. But that hasn't happened, unfortunately. Not due to him. Blackburn have their own players at the minute, and I think that would make more sense. But then, does Jurgen Klopp want to use him if he was to join? And that, because next season, of course, we got the likes of James Milner. Looks like he could be going. We don't know who else could be leaving in the midfield. It's a very interesting topic, and time will tell. Of course, time will tell. But let me know, guys, your thoughts in the comment section down below. Excuse me. Even if he doesn't work, we could still sell him on for 10, 15 million. But for me, he's going to be one hell of a player, and he's homegrown as well. Yeah, exactly. And sell as well. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing. Liverpool, we haven't, I don't think we've ever bought dumb under Klopp, in my opinion. I think about it. The only, I wouldn't really call Karius a wasp name, because we've pretty much got our money back off Karius, due to the loan fees and that over the last couple of years. So, we're not stupid. And of course, we're coming into this new era now with Liverpool. Michael Edwards is leaving at the end of the season. We've got, new people coming in. I forgot his name. Is it not Billy Hogan? Sorry, that's the CEO. But we've got a new person in charge that isn't Michael Edwards, and it's going to be telling whether or not it's going to be the same thing. I think that it probably is, because he's the guy that is taking over has been the same. He's been under Michael Edwards for a very long time as an understudy, so he knows the deals that Liverpool would be going for, and this just screams Liverpool. It truly does. And look, if it doesn't work out, like John said, it'll be exactly that. Liverpool can sell on for profit from that, because of course, look at the Ben Davies transfer. We bought him for £2 million. We signed him up to a 6-year contract. That 6-year contract is worth more than the 2 million, then you could say, which is a pretty much guarantee profit. And I think that would be the same with Fabio Cannavaro as well. I have probably butchered his name, so apologies for that if I have. Anyway, but for me, guys, I think he does fit all the bills. Can play. He can play as a cam. He can play as a left-sided forward, right-sided forward as well. And like I said, if Jurgen has the idea of him coming into the team, look at Harvey Elliott, for example. I know last year he was playing, on the left and the right for Blackburn. This season comes in as a number 8 and does absolutely fantastic, straight away. And in my opinion, I think he did pretty well before he got injured. And I think, look, it does just scream Harvey Elliott transfer, in my opinion, and maybe in your guys' thoughts as well. And it will be very interesting to know your guys' thoughts anyway in the comment section down below. But it is just one of these ones where you look at it and you go, for me, it makes sense. The age is perfect. The positions, he can play everywhere. That Liverpool would want him to. Homegrown talent, wouldn't take an international spot in the side, so it makes perfect sense pretty much everywhere for Liverpool to do it. Will it happen in January? That's the other big question. Like I said, I think yes, it must happen in January. for Liverpool, for Fulham as well, because of course they'll want to try and get some money out of him as well. Like we did say, the rumours are £5 million as things stand. Of course, Liverpool will be trying to get that down as much as possible, knowing Michael Edwards is of course still there, and knowing the great deals that he has done. Build him a statue, I say. Anyway, but for me, guys, I think Fabio Cannavaro, he makes all the right sense for Liverpool Football Club moving forward, and looks to be a truly great player. Looking at certain aspects of his game, and just listening to Fulham fans as well. If you go on to YouTube, type in Fabio Cannavaro and just listen to what Fulham fans are thinking and saying about him, they're thinking that he has a lot of potential, bigger potential than Harvey Elliott. And if we know how good Harvey Elliott's been so far, like I say, he's going to be absolutely fantastic. And as John has said as well, he's going to be fantastic. And look, I hope it happens, because if I bring this out now and it doesn't happen, everyone's going to go, oh well, this transfer never happened. It's the only signing I can see happening this window. I absolutely agree on that, my friend. Absolutely agree. As FSG all over it. Yeah, exactly. It's a proper FSG signing. And again, it would be, for me, absolutely brain dead if they didn't go for it, because again, it ticks all the boxes as well. But of course, nothing is done and settled until he is in a Liverpool shirt, the contract signed, it's announced by Liverpool Football Club as well. So do take this, guys, with a massive pinch of salt. This is why it is called potential signings and not, it's going to be signed this window type thing. If he does sign, of course, we'll bring you all the news and updates anyway with that. But for me, Fabio Cannavaro, he gets the green light, in my opinion. I think he'd be fantastic for Liverpool going forward. Of course, the rebuild, it has to happen sooner rather than later. And of course, him, Harvey Elliott, Tyler Morton, all those types of midfielders coming through. And look, I think he'd be absolutely fantastic in under Jurgen Klopp and for Liverpool Football Club anyway. But guys, I am going to leave it there. It is a short episode because look, at the end of the day, this is designed to be a short episode. It's meant to just show you and bring you, the short, impactful news. Hopefully, when he does sign for Liverpool Football Club, then we will be speaking about him a lot more in the future. Anyway, but guys, thank you so very much for tuning in to our Liverpool potential signings video. If you would like us to bring any more of these, to look at a certain player, I know that there is a certain French international from RB Leipzig called Christopher Nkunku that has been rumoured. We was going to maybe do one about him. If you guys would like that, then please let me know in the comment section down below. Be very much appreciated as always anyway. But, guys, let me know as well if you would take Fabio Cannavaro at Liverpool. For me, it is a green light all over it. And I think Liverpool would be, better off than with him in the ranks anyway. But guys, please stay safe. Please stay well. Of course, life is and everywhere in the world right now is still a very dangerous place, of course. So please stay safe, please stay well. But until next time, guys, there's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council, and I will see you all next time. Tra Reds.